Fastest known times, legal battles,
the dirty debt ceiling deal,
gear trends, wildlife attacks and reintroductions, hiking events, record-breaking weather, and business news.
This is the second REI location.
Let's dive into all that happened in hiking in 2023. In addition to hiking videos, Greenbelly also makes ready-to-eat backpacking meals. Greenbelly meals are 650-calorie meal bars loaded with nutrition like protein, carbs, fat, sodium, and fiber. Greenbelly meals have been called Rice Krispie treats on steroids and come in 5 flavors using all natural ingredients. Check us out at greenbelly.com. Fastest known time attempts were in full force in 2023. The 274-mile Vermont Long Trail. John Kelly beat the supported FKT, taking it down to 4 days and 4 hours. The 486-mile Colorado Trail. The Colorado Trail supported record was broken by Tara Dower. Her feet were so destroyed afterward, she reported needing to have all of her toenails removed. The record was taken from her only 25 days later by Nina Mooch Bridges, who beat her record by almost 7 hours, taking the women's record down to 8 days and 14 hours. The 382-mile Oregon Coast Trail. In June, Krista Fasciano beat the supported record. And then, just under a month later, Tyler Weber beat her record by 4 hours, taking it down to 7 days and 17 hours. The 3,100-mile Continental Divide Trail. Brenda Hickman took the self-supported record down to 76 days and 10 hours. And possibly the most famous FKT this year happened on the 2,650-mile Pacific Crest Trail. Belgian dentist and ultra-runner Karel Sabe reclaimed his supported record by a whole 5 days, taking the record from 51 days down to 46 days, averaging 57 miles a day.
Run, Forrest, run!
During this year's Salmon Run, the annual Fat Bear Week at Alaska's Katmai National Park drew more than 1.3 million votes from fans watching live on explore.org. The winner was a mama bear named Grazer. Hike Naked Day is the first day of the summer every year. However, it generated more buzz this year in the hiking community, with hundreds, mostly through hikers, now celebrating. The 36th annual Trail Days took place in Damascus, Virginia again this year, bringing 20,000 attendees. More than 4,000 hikers attended this year's 16th annual PCT Days, despite wildfire smoke blowing into the gorge one day. And 3,500 people gathered at the largest Continental Divide Trail Days ever in Silver City, New Mexico. We continue to see an interest in ultralight backpacking in 2023. We saw more gear material wars, with some brands incorporating Dyneema into their tents and packs, while other brands switched away from Dyneema to things like Ultra. Clothing materials like alpaca wool and Polartec continued to gain popularity. We saw a craze for these little guys, mini sleeping pad pumps. Other items like fuel transferring tools, sun hoodies, and inflatable tents took up more of the conversation than prior years. The pants with a zipper that goes all the way around went viral. AI continued to progress at a seemingly exponential rate. More hikers are using tools like ChatGPT to help plan trips and generate viral images. Apps became more used in the backcountry for things like identifying wildlife and plants, and navigation. Mapbox created the new 3D map environments. Google Maps can now also be viewed in 3D. Dick's Sporting Goods acquired online retailer Moose Jaw from Walmart, and then closed down 11 of their 14 retail stores after an internal realignment. REI employees continued to unionize, with 8 stores having signed on. Patagonia sued Gap in late 2022, claiming Gap copied their fleece design. The lawsuit was settled in June of 2023 without any further detail. National Geographic laid off its last remaining staff writers this year, electing to work with contractors and freelancers. The iconic yellow bordered magazine also announced it will no longer be physically available on shelves in 2024. In March, President Joe Biden designated 2 national monuments, Aviquama in southern Nevada and Castner Range in West Texas. This decision also protected more than 500,000 acres from development, including one of the world's largest Joshua tree forests. And speaking of Joshua trees, in June, California's Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act was put in place, officially banning their removal without a permit. A new bill, if passed by Congress, would make the nearly 300-mile Benton-Mackay Trail in the southern Appalachians a national scenic trail. A new agreement was made between the New Mexico State Land Office and the Bureau of Land Management, eliminating the need for permits on the Continental Divide Trail in New Mexico. Mount Democrat, a popular privately owned Colorado 14er, went public after a nonprofit bought it in September this year. The Pacific Crest Trail Association and the Trust for Public Land acquired over 1,000 acres of land in Northern California. This protects the Girard Ridge as part of the Shasta Trinity National Forest. In June, Biden signed the debt ceiling bill, which gave the highly controversial Appalachian natural gas pipeline the green light. Environmentalists have cited concerns about erosion, habitat destruction, and the 50-foot wide scar that would disturb scenery. The plan to reintroduce gray wolves to Colorado made progress in 2023. Oregon agreed to provide 10 wolves to Colorado. The first release is planned to take place by the end of 2023 to early 2024. The National Park Service and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service released a proposal for the reintroduction of grizzly bears to the North Cascades ecosystem, an area extending from Washington into British Columbia, which had been their habitat historically. 4 people were killed by bears in Northern America in 2023. Stephen Jackson by a black bear in Arizona, Amy Adamson by a brown bear in Montana, and Doug Inglis and Jenny Gousset and their dog by a brown bear in Banff National Park. All bears were eventually euthanized. 20 miles of the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina were closed this year after some hikers reported being bitten. The bears were showing no fear of humans and wandered into occupied camps in search of food. Other wildlife encounters and scares were reported, particularly from mountain lions, including the 70-year-old man who fought off a mountain lion with a rock. The U.S. set a new record for the number of weather disasters in a year.
We're seeing more intense droughts, we're seeing more intense hurricanes, more intense rainfall, all those heat waves that we've been seeing this summer, that's all caused by this acceleration and continuation of warming,
costing an estimated $1 billion. In New Hampshire, Mount Washington, the second largest peak on the Appalachian Trail, broke the record for the coldest wind chill in U.S. history at negative 108 degrees Fahrenheit. 2023 saw enormous snowpack on the West Coast. California's snowpack reached record highs and a state of emergency was declared in 13 counties, forcing hikers on the PCT to change their plans. Backpacker magazine called it the year of the flip-flop. The snowpack forced Yosemite National Park to close and trapped 2 17-year-olds on a 10-day trip on the PCT near Mount St. Gorgonio. They were rescued by helicopter after 3 days of huddling together. The world also saw our hottest June in the last 100 years. This resulted in 2023 having the worst wildfires in recorded history. We experienced about 50,000 wildfires across the country, which led to multiple trails and wilderness areas closing, including the Rogers Pass fire that closed 13 miles of the CDT in Montana, and the Knob fire in San Bernardino Forest that closed 16 miles of the PCT. Heavy rains brought devastating floods in the Northeast. Baxter State Park in Maine and surrounding trails saw waist-high flooding. Vermont storms were said to be the worst since 1927. Hikers were urged to stay off the Long Trail. Notably, the storm led to the death of a 67-year-old Appalachian Trail hiker, Robert Kirker, and several rescues, like this father and 10-year-old son. Emory and Henry College in Virginia made headlines after they became the first college to offer students credit for hiking a portion of the Appalachian Trail. A hiker stumbled upon a large fossil in Colorado, leading excavators to find one more. The fossil is estimated to be roughly 150 million years old, from the Jurassic period. In addition to Lyme disease, ticks can carry another serious disease, babesiosis. The CDC reported this disease has been on the rise, going from dozens of cases a decade ago to hundreds now, mostly in the Northeast. In 2023, the CDC also found the likely cause of the norovirus spread that happened on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2021: hygiene. Hikers are urged to start washing their hands with soap and to ditch the hand sanitizer. Norovirus was very contagious and could lead to serious dehydration. If you want to stay up to date with deep dives into hiking topics and trends, please like this video and subscribe to Green Belly's channel.